As you guys might have guessed already, we're working on TJ's car this week.
Jay-Z stuff.
As you guys guessed in one of our last videos, we're working on TJ's car this week. A lot going on with it. It was a running, driving, drift car. It has a cage and everything already in it. It has a 2JZ in it with a turbo, all that stuff done to it. But, yeah, it sucks.
So we're putting a better turbo on it, better manifold. You constantly had rear end issues. It already had a Samsung sequential trans, but we got Rise Fab rear subframe. So we're gonna redo everything in the rear end, get him a new drive shaft and get all the stuff sorted for him, as well as fix his cooling system issues because this thing constantly had issues overheating. So we have a new built motor for it as well. So we are in the process of tearing everything apart, getting all of the parts we are reusing swapped over to that motor, as well as putting in all of our new upgrades. It's gonna be sweet. So we have started the assembly of this motor. We got all of our gaskets and stuff for the intake and swapped over. Now we moved over to the exhaust side. We got the Artec T4 manifold for the GTE, which actually comes with twin gates. For this one, just because with the motor mount brackets we are using the Turbo Smart lights, which are slightly smaller because the clearance we have between here and here, this just clears perfectly just with like a 1/4 inch of clearance, but thankfully this doesn't really move. And the nice thing about the Artecs too is that they'll work with the stock manifold studs, but for this one we decided to upgrade them anyways because the old ones were really crusty, so we put these beautiful PRP titanium Johnnies on here. So we're gonna get the motor situated before we put the turbo in, just to give us a little bit more wiggle room to play with inside the engine bay, and then we can start bolting on accessories and figuring out what we're gonna do, because we are gonna change a few things on like the belt routing and the water pump setup and everything, because you can see we already have the Rad Industries water pump delete and the upper water net. So the wiring harness is a very nice wiring harness, but it was routed pretty much right through the middle of the engine bay. For one, getting all the heat from the downpipe, and for two, it just looked awful. So there's already a big hole over here where he had his fire suppression running through. So we are going to feed the harness through there and then reposition the nozzle for his fire suppression, just to make the engine bay look nice and clean, because he has nice paint on the engine bay, so might as well show it off. Plus they already cut the secondary firewall, so might as well just run with it. Right, Donnie?
Make it look pretty. Oh yeah, and the engine's in the car.
Oh yeah, and that look at that old crusty guy, not no mo.
They both look the same kind of.
They look similar.
Oh, they really do.
The valve covers are the same.
I didn't even notice that.
This one's a built motor, that one's a stock motor. More powers.
You know we accept bonuses, you can just give us that?
Yeah, we like bonuses too. And if you yourself are trying to build a 2JZ 350Z or just a 2JZ in general, this one that TJ owns is currently for sale. Contact sales@drifthq.com to find out how much it is going for. I believe it's everything that's on it, because we're not using any of it. And there's nothing wrong with the motor, we just want a built one to be able to handle more horsepower. So if you're looking for a stock 2JZ, that was in TJ Hunt's old 350Z, contact sales@drifthq.com.
Previously owned by a famous guy.
So our G35 900 came in, so we were able to mount that on there. It's got the 105 or 108 housing on the backside, T4, which
Just put that anyway.
yeah, don't worry about that guy. Wouldn't worry about him. And it's twin scroll, really sweet. So
Real twin
and
scroll.
with the Artec manifold, it gave us plenty of room back here for
And actually-
exhaust shenanigans.
Better strut tower clearance than I was expecting too.
Yeah. Shout out to Artec for that. They actually,
Yeah.
you know,
Log style.
they did the thing. Now I'm gonna be really scared about my wastegates down there, but there's still room.
Oh, you got plenty of room for gates.
There's room. We were worried about our engine mount might being close to one of the gates, but we used the lights, so the smaller version of the Turbo Smart, and they fit up in there. If it was a bigger one, it wouldn't have fit, I don't think. But and true form, we cut the.
Oh, you already cut the thing.
Yeah,
We cut the thing, yep. So we got our 2.5 inch cast 90. That's gonna go on here. And we discovered that his intercooler was blown out in 2 spots. Big old gaps where it was welded, just cracked from overtime heat, just like you see the intake manifolds, the aftermarket ones always crack. So we went ahead and ordered him a new treadstone. Yeah,
You can see that
this is just a crack all the way down there. It was actually lifted and separated, so he hammered it down because we were thinking about just welding this one back together. We weren't a big fan of the intercooler
And
anyway.
it cracked on the front as well.
Yeah, so we just ordered a Treadstone 1245, same one we got on that car, same one we got on that car. So we're gonna put that together, cap the end tanks and run it as kind of like the ports coming out of the top like we normally do, because we don't have much room between here and we can't really re-engineer the entire front end just yet. So,
There's
yeah.
not much room, but it'll fit a whole Chris up there.
Yeah. And remind me, you gotta fit 2 coolers, one for power steering, one for oil, plus an intercooler, and we are gonna run the KRC pump, so now we're gonna add an additional front portion to the belt drive. So all that taken into consideration, it's not a bad thing that we're changing the intercooler and we can kind of move the position where we want to.
Question. Twin scroll versus non-twin scroll. What's the difference?
Well, you have a divided exhaust housing. You
Oh.
can actually see the divided portions
That's what that is.
of it here. So obviously more beneficial if you have something like a true twin scroll manifold that has like equal length runners, because it's going to split the power pulses between the 2 edges of your exhaust housing. So that way it's just better for turbo efficiency, and that way it actually reduces your EGTs a little bit because you're not putting all the back pressure just into one big piece. Just nice.
Does it spool faster because it has the 2 different housings on it, so it can?
Yeah, twin scroll should increase your turbo response and efficiency. So that'd be great. We're going to see how it plays out for him compared to his old turbo and old manifold. The old manifold wasn't very nice.
Old man.
Old manifold.
man.
So yeah, we are just clocking this thing, trying to get an idea of where our oil lines and stuff are gonna go. As with any T4 turbo, why I really like V-band inlet turbos is that you just have a single round piece where the exhaust goes into the turbo. It leaves a lot more room for your oil return to go through. Now with this big old turbo and this manifold, I'm gonna have to really sneak this in. So we're probably gonna have to do is take one of the turbo return flanges and then weld a little extension so that our 10AN will be like down here to go to the oil return, so we can actually tighten it, and so that way we don't melt the hose, because you know hoses would be melting.
Hose will melt.
Might just go take that oil return flange off the other turbo.
Hey, now we're
That one's
thinking with
already
our
extended.
dipstick. It's already extended and everything. It's good to go. What do you guys think about our wire tuck job? It was, I don't know if you guys got to
Oh, I
see
gotta get
the-
rid of these guys. Don't
Yeah.
know any paying attention. To
Yeah, what is
That
that?
corner right there, don't worry about. Those are leftovers. You know, you always have leftovers. So we took and shoved everything up underneath the motor instead of laying over top of it. So when TJ pops the hood and sees it, it's gonna be inspiring.
Yeah. So this is the starter and alternator positive leads, which we are also going to run with the harness. We're going to make a block off plate for this out of some nice aluminum, and we're going to get a plate for that, as well as putting a grommet on there just to keep the heat and everything out. Yeah, tuck that up real nicely.
Nice
I actually think
overdraw.
I have one of those boots left over from the wiring harness from the F30. One of those big boots that come with it.
Yeah. That was real nice.
There will be people who disagree with my methods. We have wrapped up pretty much most of the stuff on the engine aside from what we need to do for fabrication. Our intercooler will be coming in soon, as well as a few extra things we need for our power steering system. But intake manifold swapped over, new turbo. We already got most of our coolant and oil lines done, which kind of makes something kind of weird for the oil return, but we'll figure that out later when we start fabbing. But yeah, we got all of our engine harness and everything routed. Donny already finished our catch can lines and stuff as well. Oil cooler lines pretty much all wrapped up. So we're gonna figure out where everything is gonna go once we get our intercooler in place, and then from there, yeah.
So we're gonna have multi-series on this. So everything is gonna have its own section. It's gonna be 4 or 5 videos long. So you get the stuff, engine, then we'll go into the back, we'll do the fuel cell and the radiator and so on and so forth. So we'll do different blocks of it so you guys can watch it from start to finish. Also, it's going fast. Even Duarte was impressed that we have all this stuff done already on it. So this should be done within the 2-week limit that we were given for it. I don't see it being a problem. The only thing it's going to be is all of the titanium. Huh?
You said it. You said it's a problem now.
Now it's a problem because you said something.
You said something.
Oh God, here we go. On a Friday, you're going to do this to me? Come on. All right, sorry, I take that back. Can you take backsies? Take backsies. All right. In other news, it's my nephew's birthday today too, so I want to give a big shout out to my nephew Connor Haney. He's 17 today, and he's also in welding school. He's gonna learn how to weld better than we are. So shout out to him, really proud of him. Happy birthday, buddy. Like, subscribe, comment.
Donny, give us a kick.
Donny, give the kick.
Yeah.
If your pants were up higher, you could kick higher, you know?
Don't worry about that.
Just saying. You know, we're gonna get Drift HQ boxers, and how we're gonna advertise is just give them to Donny for free. That way, when he's walking around, everybody can see Drift HQ on his butt.
Literally selling that ass.
Yeah, literally selling that ass. Happy weekend, boys.
Good weekend.